What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Guys, you saw the news. Jonathon Taylor is back. He's here. He's ready to play. And get this, he has signed an extension. That's right. After months of people telling us that, oh, he doesn't want to be a Colt anymore. Oh, the Colts don't value him. Oh, the Colts don't want to pay him. The Colts in that relationship with Jonathon Taylor will never get fixed. Just a day after Jonathon Taylor speaks with the media for the first time since all of this has gone down, the Colts get him an extension, and Jonathon Taylor is staying in Indianapolis for the long haul, signs a 3-year extension worth $42 million, with $26.5 million of that guaranteed. Now, just to kind of put those numbers into perspective here, guys, from that perspective, Jonathon Taylor is now the 5th highest paid running back in the NFL this year, starting next year. And then from a yearly average perspective, it would be the 3rd most on average. It's just below Alvin Kamara, and it is below Christian McCaffrey on an average annual basis. And as far as guaranteed money, it is the 2nd most guaranteed money of anyone in the NFL, just under Christian McCaffrey's, who got $30 million of his guaranteed. So fantastic to see that Jonathon Taylor got a good contract there. Honestly, for me, guys, that was the number that I was throwing out a long time ago. Back when this whole conversation was happening, the first week of training camp, I was saying the same number that just happened to be what the Colts just signed him for. 3 years, $42 million, around close to $25-30 million of a guaranteed, that sort of situation. It ends up being $14 million a year, which I thought, for a guy who he most likely, if you see him play on all cylinders and this guy's healthy, he is a top 3 running back in this league, no question about it. And that is top 3 running back money when you think about it from an average annual perspective. Of course, like I said, 5th most of all running backs currently in the NFL. It's just above Nick Chubb. So, of course, guys, this comes at a really great time right here. The timing is kind of strange, though. It's really funny because it's like, dang, you wish that Jonathon Taylor and the Colts could have made this happen like a month and a half ago, if that was the sort of situation they were getting themselves into. I do want to bring these up. I'll go ahead and talk about this because these were the quotes that Jonathon Taylor and other members of the coaching staff and the executives and the owner for the Colts said about Jonathon Taylor. Jonathon Taylor states after signing it, "I want to thank Jim Irsay and his family, Chris Ballard, and Coach Steichen for the opportunity to be a part of this organization's future. I greatly appreciate the support of my teammates and Colts fans. I can't wait to get back on the field and do everything I can to help bring this city the championship it deserves. I'm proud to be an Indianapolis Colt," which is exactly the same. It was the same stuff that he was talking about 3 months ago, 4 months ago, before all this nonsense started happening, right? Of course, CEO and owner Jim Irsay, Jonathon is a special player, and signing him to this extension is important, knowing the impact he'll make as the team develops under Shane Steichen. I have no doubt he'll continue to create highlight plays and memories for Colts fan as he's done in his 3 seasons thus far. Jonathon deserves this deal, and I'm happy for him. Chris Ballard also, I'm thrilled we were able to reach an agreement with Jonathon. At the end of August, I spoke about the importance of relationships and being able to move forward. Remember, guys, this was hurting Ballard more than anything because Ballard wanted to make this thing work, but at the same time was trying to deal with everything else going on. And you could see how visibly frustrated he was by this whole situation. He says, "We were able to reach that point. We know what Jonathon means to this team in this city. He is an exceptional playmaker, and he has given a tremendous amount to our organization. This is the result we all wanted, and head coach Shane Steichen stated, part of the reason I took this job was to work with a player like Jonathon Taylor. He adds an explosive element to our offense, and his success on the field over the last 3 seasons is undeniable. I'm excited for the role he'll play on this team as we continue to build. So again, nothing but happiness and good things to say from Jonathon Taylor's end and from the Colts end, all of these things. So again, everyone is happy. Jonathon Taylor gets the big money that he always wanted, and the Colts are able to successfully lock down Jonathon Taylor in a contract for at least the next 3 seasons. So here's the thing. So we've had this whole discussion about paying running backs big money. Say what you want to say about it. All I'm going to say is that when you look at these some of the other running backs in this group, of course, Christian McCaffrey, he's like half of the San Francisco offense right now. You've seen what he's doing in San Francisco right now. Derrick Henry, I mean, we don't even have to begin to talk about Derrick Henry and what he has been for the Tennessee Titans throughout his tenure. Of course, like I said, Saquon Barkley, when he was obviously, you see how bad the Giants look now with Saquon Barkley not being out there right now for this team. So, of course, that's been an issue. But this is a young team with a young core of explosive players that needed its best explosive player back to help make it to where this team could try and expand on its success already. Anthony Richardson, we saw how lit up he was when Jonathon Taylor was coming back. He's excited to have this guy in there. It's such a big deal that Jonathon Taylor gets this extension because, listen, whatever you feel about the running back situation, whatever you feel about the money of it all, here's the problem. Or at least here's the reason why Jonathon Taylor should have gotten this extension and why it's important that the Colts did it. For the obvious reason that Jonathon Taylor makes your team better. He makes your team better. It is what it is. He makes your team better. Zach Moss has been productive with this team, and everyone loves Zach Moss and what he has done for this team. But it is, even he will tell you that Jonathon Taylor gives you that explosive play ability that even Zach Moss fails to bring to this offense. Zach Moss brings you hard-fought yards that wears a defense down. Jonathon Taylor can do the same thing. But, of course, the explosiveness of a Jonathon Taylor is why you bring him in to be there for this team because of that element. Because now you are forcing these teams to now have to accommodate for a running back that can do it all and be able to make plays. And you got to now bring it in closer, which now makes it easier for Anthony Richardson to throw the football down the field a little more, adds a new level to it. And you have to respect Jonathon Taylor, because if you don't respect Jonathon Taylor and you only stay hidden to Anthony Richardson's ability, then Jonathon Taylor can break off some bigger runs. And then, of course, with Jonathon Taylor being in there now, that now makes it easier for Anthony Richardson to now be able to free up his space and be able to make more big plays for himself and for this team. That is all the great things about it. Now, again, I can talk about a couple other things. The contract being what it is, only $14 million a year, guys. My guess is it's probably going to be, you want to probably front load this now before you get Anthony Richardson in there with his second contract, which is another reason why this contract is so good, because with it being an extension of the next 3 years, you lock Jonathon Taylor down for every single year that Anthony Richardson is under his rookie deal. So again, you can afford to make these kinds of moves because you have your franchise quarterback under rookie contract. So now you have your biggest playmaker on your offense locked down for 3 years to work under this quarterback. And that is such a big thing to help in the development of this offense and the development of an Anthony Richardson. And then, of course, I have to talk about one of the biggest things, and no one wants to really mention, is because with this now being a thing, you don't need to worry now about Jonathan Taylor going forward, right? You gave him his extension. He's happy with it. You now pay him. And now going into next offseason, because we all presumed that he was going to probably test himself somewhere else if he didn't get a contract in Indianapolis. But now you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about it. Your most explosive guy at that moment in the offseason is going to be there. You don't have to worry about his commitment to it. He's there now. So now you can focus on getting more bigger playmakers for Anthony Richardson, fixing other holes on this team instead of having to worry about this running back that you really wanted on this team but wasn't able to get a contract done. But now you don't have to worry about it. Now, again, the timing of it all, I could argue. The Colts probably should have done it a little bit sooner. I mean, it would have been nicer if this would have been done before the season started. But here we are. We have figured it out. We don't have to worry about it. The weight is off of the shoulders of every Colts fan now. I don't have to worry about it. I feel great about it because now I don't have to worry about whether or not he's going to come back now. And we have a great playmaker that's going to be back there. And if he remains healthy for this year, he is going to help us win football games. And that is what matters the most. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. This is why it was so important. I'm so glad the Indianapolis Colts got this done. Thank you, Indianapolis Colts. Congrats, Jonathan Taylor. Welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking around. And I can't wait to see you over the next 3.5 seasons continue to be great like you have been so far. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts on this deal. And as always, guys, go Colts.